The space was quiet, too quiet. Captain Rhea opened her eyes slowly. Her head hurt, and the side of her face was sticky with blood. Around her, the ship was dark. Small red lights blinked on broken control panels. Some wires sparked. Bodies floated in zero gravity, silent, cold, gone. She didn't remember much, just a flash of light and a sound like the universe breaking in two. The alien ship had attacked without warning. No message, no reason, just destruction. She pushed herself up, her hands shaking. The AI was silent. The main controls were dead. She tried the emergency radio. No signal. Alone. Or maybe not. A sound came from down the hallway. Something like clicking claws on metal. It was slow, steady, and getting closer. She grabbed a plasma cutter. Her heart beat fast, but her steps were quiet. She moved through the shadows, past floating bodies and broken glass. Then she saw it. Tall, thin, gray skin, red eyes. The alien was feeding on one of her crew. She didn't scream. It looked up anyway. She ran, locked the door behind her. Breathing hard, she remembered the alien message. You are not explorers. You are animals. But they made one mistake. Humans fight back. Rhea sat in the dark room, her back against the cold metal wall. Her hands shook, but her eyes stayed fixed on the door. The sound outside had stopped. Was it waiting? Listening? She didn't know. But she knew one thing. If she stayed here, she would die. Slowly, she opened a storage box near her. Inside were tools, a flashlight, and a small oxygen tank. Not much, but better than nothing. She clipped the flashlight to her shoulder and took a deep breath. It was time to move. The hallway was still. Her flashlight showed the marks the alien left, long scratches on the walls, like claws. She moved quietly, her ears sharp for any sound. She had to get to the engine room. Maybe the backup systems still worked. Maybe she could send a distress call. Every step felt like it could be her last. Suddenly, a voice cracked through her earpiece. Static. Then a whisper. Is anyone alive? Her heart jumped. Someone was out there. She pressed the button. This is Captain Rhea. I'm alive. Who is this? No answer. Only static. But she wasn't alone. She turned a corner and stopped. The floor was covered in blood, and in the middle stood another human. But something was wrong. His eyes were glowing red. Rhea froze. The man in front of her looked human. Same uniform, same face she thought she recognized from engineering. But his eyes glowed red, and his expression was blank, like he wasn't fully alive. She took a step back, gripping the plasma cutter tighter. Anders, she asked, her voice low. The man tilted his head slowly, as if the name meant nothing. Then he spoke, but his voice was strange, flat, broken, almost like two voices overlapping. Human, identity, irrelevant. She knew then, he wasn't human anymore. He had been taken, changed, controlled. The aliens weren't just killing people. They were using them, turning them into something else. Anders moved fast, too fast. She dodged, barely escaping his reach, and ran. Her boots slammed against the metal floor, echoing through the halls. She didn't look back. She found a narrow maintenance shaft and crawled inside, heart pounding, breath short. Her flashlight flickered, then died. Darkness wrapped around her like a blanket. She crawled for what felt like forever until she dropped into a small control room. It was dusty, forgotten. But the console was still glowing. She sat down, hands shaking, and started typing. If she could reach the bridge systems, maybe she could find out what happened to the rest of the ship. The screen flickered to life, showing video logs. She clicked the first one. It showed the aliens boarding the ship and the crew surrendering. Rhea stared at the screen, confused. The video showed her crew, strong, trained officers, dropping their weapons and kneeling as the aliens walked through the smoke-filled corridor. No fight, no resistance. just silence and fear. The aliens didn't kill them, not at first. They touched their heads, one by one, and after a few seconds, the crew stood up, different, emotionless, controlled. Her stomach turned. She kept watching. Another log showed the science officer, Dr. Yurin, explaining something to the alien leader. "The human brain is stronger than we thought," he said, "but fear breaks them. If we push hard enough, they'll submit." The alien responded in a language she didn't understand, but the tone was cold. Rhea slammed her fist on the console. This wasn't just a war. It was a test, a project. The aliens were trying to learn how to break humanity, how far they could push before the mind gave up. But not everyone broke. She hadn't. Maybe others hadn't either. Suddenly, the console beeped. A signal, weak but real. Another part of the ship was still active. Life signs detected. 4 of them, not far. She stood quickly, her fear replaced by fire. If there were survivors, they had a chance. But just as she opened the door to leave, a voice came through the speaker above her. It was calm, cold, and in perfect English. Rhea froze as the voice echoed through the small control room. It was smooth, emotionless, and too calm. The kind of calm that meant control, power. The speaker crackled again. "You were meant to sleep like the others. Your resistance is unexpected." She didn't reply. Her hand moved slowly toward the door panel. If they knew where she was, she couldn't stay. "I admire your strength," the voice continued, "but it is useless. Your species is flawed, driven by fear, easy to bend, easy to break." Rhea's jaw clenched. She opened the door and slipped into the hallway, quiet and fast. Lights above her flickered on as she moved, like the ship itself was watching. The path to the life signs was clear now, almost like the enemy wanted her to go there. She didn't trust it, but she had no other choice. She ran. Finally, she reached the med bay. Inside, 4 people were trapped in containment tubes. 2 were unconscious. 1 was crying. 1, a young soldier, banged on the glass, eyes wide with hope when he saw her. Rhea started working the controls. "I'm getting you out," she whispered. But before she could finish, the wall behind her opened with a hiss. The alien leader stepped inside, tall, silent. Its skin shimmered like metal, and its eyes locked onto hers. "You could have been one of us," it said. "But now, you'll be the example." Rhea looked back at the people behind her, then at the creature. She didn't speak. She just raised the plasma cutter.